Hey there, rednecks, preppies, redneck preppies. It's me, the redneck preppy. How you doing today? Great, good. Just a quick video today. The Canadian federal government is continuing to move ahead with its gun grab, despite the fact that there are still several ongoing legal challenges. I guess we shouldn't be surprised by this. The Trudeau government has demonstrated an utter lack of transparency and propriety in anything it's done during its tenure. The latest move by the government is to try and enlist your local gun stores to aid it in designing and implementing its program to, quote, buy back firearms, what the rest of us call legalized theft. To that end, they recently set out a questionnaire to Canadian gun stores looking for some information. Let's go over the questionnaire quickly and see what the federal government wants to know from your local gun store. I think it'll probably give us some hints as to what's coming down the pipe. So the first question, can you provide a copy as an attachment of your retail price list as of May 1, 2020 for the newly prohibited firearms and or devices? And devices is basically upper receivers for M16s, AR-10s, AR-15s, and M4 pattern rifles. They want a price list from May 2020 for all the firearms that became prohibited around that period. Things like the AR-15, obviously, VC-58s, and anything else that was on the list. Obviously, they're trying to cost out what they'll actually offer gun owners and what this will actually cost Canadian taxpayers. The next up is the question, what are the criteria industry retailers use to set pricing for firearms? Can you also describe the factors that impact pricing? For example, geographic location within Canada. I think even gun owners will be interested in how the mysterious process of pricing occurs. That said, I'm sure most stores operate on pretty slim margins when it comes to firearms. Question 3, are there any other direct or indirect costs the government should consider when establishing compensation for businesses? For example, storage. That's essentially asking retailers how they would design a confiscation program. Isn't that wonderful? Question 4, how does your business appraise the value of unique/rare, newly prohibited firearms? Does your appraiser have specific qualifications, or is their expertise derived from experience? Please explain. So they want to know how a retailer comes up with a price for whatever a unique or newly prohibited firearms is. I'm not sure how you can assign a value to something that now essentially has no value because there's no market for it. But this is the government asking questions, right? All right, this next section, this is where the air quotes become a camp guard recruitment begins. And it's essentially, would your business be interested in participating in the appraisal of these firearms? Essentially, are they willing to help in grab private property? And the next question is, would your business consider participating in the deactivation? The next questions are collection and deactivation of newly prohibited firearms. So that's interesting because a lot of people really assume this was going to be better organized in the sense that firearms owners would be handing in these prohibited firearms to, I don't know, like the police or something as some sort of organized, bring-in. I guess not. And 7, the deactivation kind of also indicates what the grandfathering is actually going to be, and that is that the firearms are going to be completely deactivated. Question 8, has your business exported any newly prohibited firearms since the implementation of the ban? And do you intend to export newly prohibited firearms in the future before the end of the amnesty period? And that amnesty period is this coming May 2022. If I remember the Order in Council correctly, all trade in firearms on the list was essentially banned. But here the government wants to know if businesses are actually exporting any of them since that announcement back in May 2020. I'm confused. I was under the impression that no one was allowed to sell these or export them. So I don't get it. But having said that, ratting on yourself is probably a bad idea. So I don't know if a business really wants to talk about it. Questions 9 and 10 are basically the costs incurred by the business thanks to the government's ban, both in inventory and storage costs. So you've got, what documentation does your business maintain that could be provided to demonstrate inventory value for these firearms? And question 10, What documentation does your business maintain that could be used to verify the costs, such as storage, your business has incurred as a result of the prohibition? I have a feeling here they're trying to buy the business, essentially, or buy their good graces. Oh, you suffer economically because of our ban? Here, we'll pay you. And, hey, why not help us out with this confiscation program? That's it. That's basically it. It's 10 questions. If you're friendly with any or all of the local gun stores in your community, I would urge you during your next visit to ask whether they've received this questionnaire and if they intend on aiding the federal government in its war against basically that store's customers. I'm not a huge boycotter, although I will admit that there are several businesses that will never see another penny from me because of the events of the past couple of years. But I would seriously think about not patronizing any establishment which is helping the federal government with their mass confiscation. I know in these economic times, asking a store not to make money is a pretty big thing, but these stores have to know that any profit they make off confiscations is off the backs of their customers and theft. Conversely, if a store hasn't made a decision yet, encourage them to refuse to assist. There's no obligation for them to do so. And buy something while you're there. Support your local gun stores. If you're a Canadian gun owner and are interested in the ongoing efforts to fight this theft by government, I would strongly urge you to follow YouTube channels like Runkle of the Bailey, a Canadian firearms attorney from out west, and the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights. I've got links to both of their channels in the description below. At any rate, like I said, this is just a quick video to share this with my fellow Canadian gun owners. As always, I hope you have yourself a great day and make sure to support those local gun stores who are our friends in this fight. Take care and bye-bye.